I got asked this the other day and I thought it was a great question. The question is, why don't people remember their past lives? And the thing is, we do. Everybody does in a different way. Or some of us really remember lots of our past lives, and some of us may only remember a few past lives, but everybody remembers their past lives. The problem is that most of us kind of just think of it as more of a human thing. We may hear of someplace on the news or in school or somehow, and we're like, wow, that looks like a great place to go, or wow, that looks beautiful, I really want to go there. And we're not really connecting it to a past life. I hear this from so many people, and a lot of times we're really not connecting it with our past lives. I've heard of people like desiring, like, I really want to go to New Zealand or Australia or China or Japan or Vietnam or wherever it is. It can be so many different places, and they'll just have a deep desire. And a lot of times when they travel there, they're just like, oh my gosh, it felt like home. Or they'll say, I just had this like weird sensation that I'd been there before. Yeah, that's meaning that you probably had a past life there. Now, it really depends on how your past life went in that area, how you really feel about that area. If you were in an area where you passed or had a lot of wars or something like that, you may not feel comfortable there. But a lot of times we don't really go to where we passed. We usually want to go to where we lived, where we're from. And I will say that's kind of one of the main reasons why people love to go to places like China or Rome, is because there's been so many wars that have been started by them, but it wasn't really fought on their land. It was one of those, it was fought somewhere else. And a lot of times that's kind of giving you a hint or a suggestion of where you might have lived in a past life. Also, a lot of our fears come in from past lives. A lot of our fears that we have right now in our current life usually came in from a past life, and usually how we died. Now, I will say that's kind of an interesting part, because a lot of us have died in some very interesting or some strange ways in our past lives. It's one of those, it could be in war or battle. And those are the people that literally have a fear of getting in an argument with someone, or they're afraid that they're going to get overwhelmed by the energy. And a lot of times they kind of get to that stage of, I just don't want to fight or argue. Sometimes they will have a fear of like falling or falling off of something. People that have fears of being on a bridge or being somewhere up high. All of those usually have fell in a previous life and don't want to die the same way. Sometimes people have a fear of like the ocean. They can swim in a pool, but they can't swim in the ocean. And that usually means that they fell off a ship or they drowned in like deep, deep, deep water like the ocean. And so that is just kind of one of those interesting ways that we have signs and signals that are kind of pointing us to where we lived in a past life or how we died in a past life, but a lot of us just ignore them.